We are on. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. One more. There we go. It's good to see everyone here this evening as we are about to enter into Shabbat to find a time of rest and community. And I'm hoping that our service time together will bring those things to us. Just a couple of notes about what is happening. So you can all see the screen in front of you. All of the prayers that we're going to be doing this evening will be on the screen. If you would prefer, there are prayer books in the pews, and I'll be announcing page numbers as we go. The biggest difference between what is going to be on the screen and what is in the prayer book are the screen does not always have an English translation, so if you'd like to see the English translation of the prayers that we're going to be singing, then the prayer book is going to be your better bet. As we go through our service, there are going to be moments where I invite people to rise and please be seated. That cue is to invite you to rise either in body or in spirit as you are comfortable. I hope, again, that our service is a time that brings us a sense of community and joy and Shabbat peace. And so we'll begin on page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to help work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. And we'll continue on page 128 as we join in singing these words from the book of Psalms, Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad, how good it is for all of us to be together. continue on page 130, joining together and singing L'chu Neranana, thanking God for the gift of the beauty of creation. continue on page 138 as we join together in singing this poem, Lecha Dodi, which compares Shabbat to a bride or a queen. As we sing through all of these verses, as we reach the last verse, we'll stand to face the entryway in honor of that idea of Shabbat as a bride or a queen. Page 138.
Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, shamor b'zachor, b'dibor echad,
Continue our welcoming of Shabbat, singing the words of Shalom Aleichem, these words of welcome the ministering angels, the angels of peace, who will hopefully bring with them the sense of Shabbat restfulness and peace that we all look for. Page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
We'll continue on page 120 as we prepare to kindle the Shabbat lights. I'll invite Kristen Sostrom to join me on the bima.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold it, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. Oh, here.
It decided to go out.
Everyone, shield your eyes. Shield your eyes and see.
No one saw that. We'll continue on page 144. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei
בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו amen. We'll rise for our call to prayer on page 146. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyom balayla, kolel or mibne choshech, kolel or mibne choshech, vechoshech mibne yom. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreyom balayla, kolel or mibne choshech, kolel or mibne choshech, vechoshech mibne yor. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. We'll continue on the bottom of page 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Please rise for Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vihitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem le'elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. We'll continue on page 159. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Continue on page 158 as we join together in Micha Mocha, our prayer for freedom and redemption. continue on page 160 as we sing together, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom. May God's sheltering presence rest on us this evening and every evening. We'll continue on page 163 as we rise together for tefillah. The thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. And eternity utters a day. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Saram. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. On page 171, days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai HaKadosh. Please be seated. I need to correct the Hebrew on that slide. The transliteration's good, though. We'll continue on page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. And on page 176, we acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We'll continue with our prayer for peace on page 178. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, chasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, chasim leolam. take a moment for our own quiet thoughts and prayers. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני We take a moment in our service now to hold in our hearts our loved ones, our congregational family members, and our friends who are in need of a prayer of healing. If you're on Zoom and you are thinking of someone that you'd like to share their name, please type it in the chat and I'll read their names aloud in a moment. And as I look your way in the sanctuary, if you're thinking of someone, please feel free to share. Oral Thompson. For our loved ones who are in need of healing, we say, Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed is God who brings healing to those who are in need of healing. We'll join together on page 371 as we sing Misha Berach. Misha מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There was some sad news earlier this week, or yesterday, I think. I was sitting in a meeting, and I should say not last night, the night before last, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning because my children woke me up, and I saw on the news that the Queen was very ill, the Queen of England. And then yesterday I was in a meeting with a group of community organizing leaders from across the state of South Carolina, and one of them has a sudden gasp and says the Queen has died. And so thinking about what would be a good thing to say tonight, one of the things that has been interesting in the history of the world is the relationship that the Jewish people have had to various government officials. And that has not always been positive, the relationship between Jews and government officials around the world. But one thing that has been very clear, at least in every kind of outward sense of thinking about this, Queen Elizabeth II of England was a person who was steadfastly for interfaith relationships and for the support of the Jewish community of the people who were under her rule. So much so that she knighted several prominent rabbis and would often attend Holocaust memorial functions and other functions. And one of the knighted rabbis, Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, who's the former chief rabbi of England, who also passed away relatively recently, wrote a reflection, I guess it was almost a decade ago now, which was for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, which was the 60th anniversary of her being queen. So this is a little bit of a reflection from that. It's a story that he tells that he says shows the Queen's exemplary leadership and is something that we can all learn from. So Rabbi Sacks began this published address by quoting King Louis XVIII of France, who said, "Punctuality is the politeness of kings. Royalty arrives on time and leaves on time." Rabbi Sacks assured his readers that this was also true for Her Majesty, with one memorable exception. The date was January 27th, 2005, the 60th, well, so I said it was a decade ago. That's 17 years ago. Goodness. Time flies. The 60th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. The Queen was meeting a group of Holocaust survivors in the St. James Palace. However, unlike her normal meetings, where when it was time to leave, she left, on this occasion, when Queen Elizabeth was scheduled to leave, She stayed and stayed for quite some time. She stayed. One of the queen's attendants who was present acknowledged that she had never before been known to linger after a scheduled departure time. But why did she stay? She gave each survivor, and it was quite a large group of people, her focused, unhurried attention. She stood with each person until they finished telling their own personal story. Rabbi Sachs recalled that this was an act of kindness that had him in tears. One after another, he said, survivors were coming to me in a kind of trance, saying, 60 years ago, I did not know whether I would be alive tomorrow, and here I am today talking to the Queen. 60 years earlier, these same people had been treated in Germany, Austria, Poland, and in fact in most of Europe as subhuman. Yet now the Queen was treating them as if each were a visiting head of state. This, Rabbi Sachs said, was an action exemplary of the kind of leadership that the Torah prescribes in actually what was last week's Torah portion, Parshat Shoftim. In the portion, Moses instructs the people, saying, "You shall appoint for yourselves rulers and officials in all of the settlements that the Lord your God is giving you, and they shall govern the people with justice. You shall not judge unfairly. You shall show no partiality. You shall take no bribes, because bribes blind the discerning eye and upset the plea of justice. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may thrive and occupy the land that God will give you." When commenting on this section, Maimonides, the early medieval Spanish commentator, suggests that what this passage about leadership is really about is humility. Maimonides wrote, "Just as the Torah grants a ruler great honor and obliges everyone to revere that leader, so too it commands the ruler to be lowly, to act with a broken heart, because, as the Torah also says in last week's Torah portion, Parshat Shoftim, a ruler's heart should not be lifted up above that of his or her fellows." It shouldn't come as a surprise that Moses is the model for Jewish leadership because of this humility. In the book of Numbers, there's a description of Moses who was very humble, more so than any person on earth. Humble in this instance does not mean that Moses was shy or meek or self-abasing or lacking in self-confidence. Moses was none of these. It means that the rabbis say that Moses honored others, regarding them as important to the community as he was to the community himself. So we are in the midst of the month of Elul, the month that precedes the high holidays. Rosh Hashanah begins in just 2 weeks, which is a little bit overwhelming to say out loud. But in this time of reflection and seeking to repair and improve on the way we are, we would do well to take an example from this story of Queen Elizabeth II, to see in this moment of humility and grace that she showed to the people who had gone through so much, and that we all do our best to make sure that everyone feels noticed and counted in equal measure in our own communities. And I will say Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue on page 586 as we rise together for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo
be seated.
And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu hiye Adonai echad Ushemo echad. We devote the next few moments of our service to hold in our hearts the loving memory of those who have come before us. We acknowledge those for whom this week and this Shabbat are a yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing. Lottie Kirshner, Frida Podolsky, Tommy Bradley, Bob Noble, Miriam Cohen-Getz, John Mascolo, William Mayer, Yetta Putterman, Benjamin Schiffer, Muriel Fitzig, Rachel Schreier, Thelma Schwartz, Jacqueline Lowenthal, and Julius Cohen. And if there are loved ones you are holding in your hearts in loving memory and you would like to acknowledge them before saying Kaddish, and you're on Zoom, you please feel free to write their names in the chat and I'll read them aloud in a minute. And again, if you're in the sanctuary and have a name to share, please feel free as I look your way. Gail Rose Carmack. For our loved ones who we hold in our hearts in loving memory, we say, Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be a blessing. Well, turn to page 598 and rise for Mourner's Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yom echon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitdaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kedusha barichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace in the heavens on high bring peace to us here on earth, to all people of Israel and all people of the world. And may God send comfort to all those who are mourning. Together we say, Amen. Please be seated. We have a lot of announcements because if you've been following along with your e-news, you will know that there is a lot of things that are going on right now. The first is, as I said before, high holidays are in 2 weeks, which again is overwhelming to say out loud. But
there are a couple of important things that we need from you and from other members of the congregation. If you know that someone has someone that they would like to put their name in our Yisker booklet, we had the due date be, it was originally set for today, but I know that there are people who have not turned it in yet. So if you are one of those people, please try to get your submission into Kitty in the office before the end of next week, so that we can have things printed and ready to go for the high holidays. Also, because I think it was really kind of like towards the bottom of our announcements, there is babysitting available for all of our high holiday services for those who need it. And we need to know if you have someone that you're going to be bringing. I think it's from age 2 to 8, I believe, is the age for babysitting. And I know Maya and Ellie are going to be in there for part of the time. So if you want your kids to play with my kids, you should sign them up. There you go. They're very cute. Also, there are still a few places, a few time slots available for our volunteering for the Habitat for Humanity Abraham build. For those of you who have not heard, we are participating along with 6 other religious organizations in Greenville from the Christian, Muslim, and Jewish community to build bridges between our congregations by building a house for someone in the Nicholtown neighborhood. I gave the opening blessing for the wall raising this past Wednesday, and I took at least Ellie to go see the house last night. They've already got the walls and the insulation up, and I think tomorrow they're putting the roof on, is my understanding. But if you are interested in signing up and you haven't, you can find the list of times available on the website. And also, when I talked to them on Wednesday, they said even if the temple has filled all of our time slots and you would like to build and you can show up, they will find something for you to do. And you don't need to have any building experience. They will show you exactly what needs to be done, and the experienced volunteers who are part of the building crews do a really good job of showing or demonstrating what needs to be done before you do it. So you are actually building a fundamentally sound house. Temple Religious School starts this Sunday, which is very exciting. I have missed seeing our kids' faces in the sanctuary and in the building since the end of the school year last year. We still need a couple of teachers. We are looking for someone who might be available to teach 3rd grade religious studies, and also someone who would be able to teach intermediate Hebrew. You don't need to be fluent in Hebrew at all, and for the curriculum, it's very easy to follow for 3rd grade, and each of these classes is only an hour long. So it's not a huge time commitment if you wanted to do one. If you did both, it would be a 2-hour commitment. But you don't have to be a parent of someone in religious school to be a teacher. If you are interested, you could come this Sunday. Or you can reach out to Kim during the week, and we can make sure that you get all of the things that you need to feel comfortable and confident teaching our kids. It's really a wonderful experience and very, very rewarding. Let's see. We are going to be honoring Amy Hammer for 13 years of service as the president of Greenville Jewish Federation. Amy and her husband are moving to North Carolina, and so this is it's a see you later luncheon. Hopefully they'll be back to visit, but it's going to be here on September 18th at 12:30, which is a Sunday. The doors will be open all morning because we'll have religious school that morning, but the doors for this particular event will open at 12:15, and there is a charge of $36 per person, but it includes lunch and also a farewell gift for Amy. If you are interested in attending, you have to register. I think in the e-news there's a QR code to scan or a link to press. So you can find the information on the website also. Also, in a couple of weeks, just before Rosh Hashanah, we're going to begin a 2-year adult education course. You don't have to come to all of the two years if you don't want to. You can come to individual sessions, but the course, the curriculum is called Foundations for a Thoughtful Jewish Life, and it's a text-based curriculum, and it focuses on 4 pillars of Jewish life: faith, ethics, practice, and peoplehood. For this year, we're going to be looking at faith and ethics, and then next year we'll do the practice and peoplehood portion. But we're going to be meeting, I think, a total of 21 sessions over the next year, beginning September 21st, and which is a Wednesday evening, and all of the classes will be on Wednesday evenings from 7:15 to 8:30. And I think the last one for this year, or this school year, is going to be, I think, April 19th. And they mostly we're trying to do it every Wednesday, but obviously there are Wednesdays we can't do it for holidays or breaks from school, and so I hope anyone. It is a free class, but if you want to donate to try and offset some of the cost of printing, we will not turn you down from that. 2 more quick things, both related to Rosh Hashanah. PJ Library and Greenville Jewish Federation are sponsoring a day or a morning of apple picking at Skytop Orchard on September 25th, which is the day that Erev Rosh Hashanah starts. So that evening, September 25th, in the evening is when we have our evening Rosh Hashanah service here. But the Skytop is in Zirconia, and there are all sorts of fun things that they have there, including apple picking and tractor rides and gem mining and a playground, and it's just a lot of fun. My family has gone, I think, every year since we've been to Greenville, and to do it together with the rest of the Jewish community will be really nice. And then the next day, September 26th, from 4 to 5:30, we have a family Creekside Tashlich and Shofar service. We are going to also do Tashlich here on Rosh Hashanah immediately following our morning service, but this is an additional thing, a fun thing to gather together with Congregation Beth Israel, and have our kids see each other as part of the holidays. So they are asking for people to register before going, because last year they had a gift bag, a goodie bag to give to all of the families. So if you know that you are coming, please sign up online. That's what I've got. We're going to say Kiddush and Motzi, and thank you to Kristen for the oneg this evening. And I guess I have juice up here again, and Rebecca, you are our only kid, but if anyone else wants to come up, you should come up to say Kiddush with me. You don't have to come up. I'd put you on the spot. You are not alone.
We are not making you do this by yourself.
You're older than I am.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. And a blessing for Rebecca and for all of our congregation's children. We'll join together. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May you be blessed like the sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Menashe. Yisimech Elohim ke'Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. May you be blessed like the mothers of our people, like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. We wish for all of our children to find the blessings of being proud of who they are and of always striving to be the best version of themselves. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine on you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always feel close to you, and may you always be blessed with the most important gifts of wholeness and peace. Amen. And we get to say, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
It was not me this time.
That's a camp thing. I appreciate that. We are going to conclude our service singing Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace. And then I look forward to seeing everyone next door in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so nice to see you, and I'll see you next door. Shabbat Shalom, everyone on Zoom. I'm going to unmute you. Hopefully. There we go. You are all invited to unmute.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Mama.
Shabbat shalom, neighbor.
Shabbat shalom, Joe.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hello,
Shabbat
Brandy and
Shalom,
Passy.
Anita and Ellen and Joseph and
Shalom.
Christy and Jamie and Adam and Joe and David. I said you
Shabbat
first.
shalom, Shabbat shalom, Rabbi.
Oh.